Today I'm actually very excited. I'm very very happy because of a lot of things. Okay. Um, my last video, there were so many things that were going wrong, and not in the farm though, but the world at large. Even though we still have things that are trying to pull farmers down, but I feel like the energy is becoming more positive in my direction. Today, well, our peppers are fully grown. You can see from the background, they are actually ready for transplanting. We are hoping to transplant in about 4 days, 3 to 4 days. As I told you, I'm actually documenting everything so that I'll give you one whole video that you can actually enjoy yourself watching and learning at the same time. And the reason why I'm actually the most excited about is we hit 100 subscribers, and that is so much for me. It is not because of the numbers, but because I am seeing that I actually have people who are willing to learn, people who are actually interested in this vision that we are all seeing. Okay, so just like as I said last time, the farming journey is not for just one person, and it's not like a venture where you are greedy enough to be doing it alone. You cannot do it alone. There are a lot of people who are also supposed to benefit, which no matter how difficult things are, you would not be able to do things alone. So getting people, 100 people, looking at following the journey and emulating it wherever they are is so much joy for me. I'm looking at us growing the more. So today, I'm looking at teaching something very basic but very important. I'll actually be doing 2 videos today. So the first of it, which I'm actually doing now, is going to be about the seed selection process when you're actually looking at farming. So when you're actually looking at raising seedlings or actually planting or whatever it is, the most important thing about this process is the seed itself. So if you are actually starting up or you're actually beginning and you Google any plant that you want to raise, there are different methods and ways of actually raising that particular plant, whether pepper, okra, cassava, whether plantain, whether pineapple, whatever it is. There are different ways of growing them. Some are grown through the seeds, some are grown through the socket, some are growing through the vines, some are grown through the stems, some are grafted. So there are different principles of growing each particular plant. For me, I would say this video is basically for the seed. Okay, for the seed. Probably as time moves on, I'll be able to talk about something other than the seed. But for now, because we are doing vegetables, which almost all the vegetables, almost all, except some few ones which are not actually native, that are using the stems and then the vines. But most importantly, most of them are just using the seed. So I wanted to talk about the seed selection process. So someone will ask, how do I start or how do I get my seed if I want to plant? So there are different kind of seeds for different varieties of plants. Kind of seeds for varieties. And if we take an example, pepper, which I have here. Pepper has so many varieties, so many varieties. Whether it's been hot pepper, whether it's been mild pepper, sweet pepper, whether it being chilies, there are different varieties of pepper. Now, if you are picking a seed for a particular variety, which you might want, whether it's the habaneros, whether it is the scotch bonnet, whether it is the sweet pepper, whatever it is, you should look at one basic thing. How am I going to plant it? What is my medium of planting? So we have seeds that are meant for open field, okay, or some people call it open air, and we have seeds that are meant for greenhouses. So with greenhouse farming, it's more enclosed and more controlled environment. So the air that is circulating is being regulated. The sun that is coming in is being regulated. The chillness or the coolness of the weather is being regulated. So every single thing that pushes the plants to grow is being regulated. And that is what we call the greenhouse farming or the closed farming. And the open field is when you actually have a lot of resources based on the environment. The wind, the sun is direct, rainfall, or complemented with irrigation. There are so many things that you access from the environment other than the planting itself. So that is what we call the open field. Now with the open field, the plants are usually prone to a lot of factors that you cannot control. Pests is the major, the wind is a factor. So many things are actually not being controlled by you. So if you are doing open field, you need plant seed or a type of seed that can withstand all those factors. Too much heat from the sun might not favor some type of pepper. Too much wind might not favor some type of pepper. Too much rain might not favor some type of pepper. So when you're picking a seed, a variety, pick a type of the variety that you want to plant that can actually withstand the open field or actually the greenhouse. So because the greenhouse is actually being a control and the sun that is coming in the greenhouse is being regulated, there are some seeds that are meant for the greenhouse. Seeds that would not necessarily be able to withstand the factors that would be on the open field. It would not be able to withstand those factors because they are not controlled. They survive very well, they do very well or very excellently in the greenhouse. But ones that would be able to actually withstand the factors outside has been fortified to work that way. Don't forget, seeds from plants were actually domesticated because they were wild. So we domesticated the peppers that we eat. We domesticated every kind of vegetable we grow was domesticated from the wild plants. So factors that they can actually withstand are there. So scientists or yes, I should say scientists have been able to fuse in genes for plants that can actually withstand the weather, climates of different parts of the world. So if you are picking a seed, make sure that one, you know where you are planting it. If you are planting it at an open field, pick the seed pack or ask the person selling the seeds to you. Is it for open field or is it for greenhouse? You can sometimes hear people talking about F1 hybrids and all those stuff. So there are reasons why they are called that way. Because some of the seeds are infused genetically. Some cross-pollinations, not really test tube designs, but cross-pollinations cause certain plants to be able to adapt genes that are from stronger plants. So if there is a pepper, a wild pepper outside, and there's a sweet pepper or a domesticated pepper that cannot withstand maybe the sun, they can choose to cross-pollinate it so that the wild pepper will pollinate the pepper that is not being able to withstand the sun. And the genes from the wild pepper would fortify the gene from the domesticated pepper, and it will maybe help it to withstand the sun. So all these types of seeds are available to you. You just have to make the right choice. Know exactly what you want to do first. If it's an open field, then decide that which particular seed would you be interested in growing. Now, if it is, assuming that you selected maybe habaneros. Okay, so habaneros, we have open field and we have greenhouse. You've identified that this one is for maybe open field, so you are doing open field. Now, the second thing that you have to also look at is the factor you are looking for in the seed. Do you want it to be able to withstand a specific kind of pest, which is prone to the environment that you are in, or do you want it to fruit more, or do you want it to fruit longer, or do you want it to be able to withstand drought? So all these factors are things you should consider before buying a seed pack. So maybe the environment in which you are, there are a lot of stronger pests that would damage your crop, and because of that, you need very wild varieties or types that can actually be able to withstand those pests. So you consider that, and you buy a seed for that. Or maybe you are looking at getting so much harvest in a short while. There are types that can actually fruit very bountifully but short. There are types that can actually fruit very longer but in a medium pace. There are some that can actually fruit bountifully and actually longer. So these are factors you look at. Some factors, some also would be able to actually fruit very early. And for this particular variety, they are also available in the market. So whichever one that you actually want, you purchase. One other thing too, I would want to also let you in on is some people might get confused when we talk about hybrids, non-hybrids. and then a very controversial word called GMOs, genetically modified organisms. So basically, there is a distinction between the three. Okay, when you're buying seeds, basically a hybrid seed is mostly a fusion of a wild species or a species that has certain um, um, resistance to a particular pest, or has a certain a certain quality that we need to have in our how do I put this, our normal seeds. So they actually cross pollinate. So pollination is the pollens from the one plant actually being transferred to another plant to fertilize and then produce the fruits that we eat, and then in turn produce the seeds that comes out. So when we talk about hybrids, it's more or less like you having a pepper variety that can actually withstand open field or maybe fruit more, and then cross-pollinating with maybe another pepper variety which has poor adaptation to the sun, or which does not really do well in full sun, and but really have other qualities like fruit small. So when you pollinate the two, the seeds that come out from the pollination after the fruit is usually a hybrid. That is the two coming together becomes a hybrid. This is a little different from GMOs. GMOs are mostly scientific, or we usually use the term test tube product. It's more or less like a scientist taking the gene of a particular variety or particular organism. It can even be an animal gene, or it can be a gene from something else. Okay, for example, we have pest or predator pest that can actually consume or deter some of the pests that comes onto our vegetables. So they take the gene that it possesses to be able to do that and introduce it into the pepper or the seed, and then when it comes out, it has the two gene that repels the pest that the predator pests usually do possess. So GMOs are more of the introduction of some wild genes. Is a wild science. My theory on it, it's my theory, but then the information I can let you know is the GMOs are quite different from the hybrids, even though GMOs are also hybrids. But the hybrids that we have in the market, which is usually the F1, are not GMOs. They are just cross-pollination of certain species that has stronger genes, and then they produce stronger seeds. Yes, that's why we have hybrids, and non-hybrids are usually the same, the normal plants that we have, ones that have actually not been cross-pollinated from a different variety or species, and that is the non-hybrid. And the hybrid is the one that we cross-pollinate. Usually you can even do cross-pollination from your home if you know what you are looking for. Usually the reason we don't do it is because we don't really know what we are looking for, and then we don't know how they will come out, because cross-pollinating certain species might be dangerous if you don't really know what you are doing. So we leave it to the seed companies who do grow this plants and cross-pollinate the seeds for us. Now one might ask, why is it that when you plant the F1, they say you would not be able to get harvest, or it will not germinate? Or no, it would germinate, it would produce fruits, all right? But the difference would be, it's just like the gene in you, okay, the full gene in you. When you bring an offspring, the offspring is picking a gene from the mother and the father, okay? So you would not have everything that you have in you in the offspring. You get it? Definitely there will be certain things that the person will pick from you, but not pick everything. That's how plants are also. So when you are planting the seed, you are replanting the seed of the F1 or of the hybrid, you are definitely not going to get the seeds that will come out to be exactly like the parent seeds, because the cross-pollinations has been done once. So if the purpose of the hybrid is to be able to fruit more, there's a possibility, not a concrete definition, but a possibility that you are going to get it lesser. Okay, and more and more and more. So we have F1 and F2. Usually they state it F1, F2, F3, and that's the highest I've actually seen. But the more the F increases, the more the strength comes down. So if you buy an F1 today and then you plant the seed tomorrow, and you harvest a seed from it and replant, that becomes F2. That's the second generation of the hybrid, and that's usually not the same as the first generation usually. Yeah, so that is the difference. And secondly, if you are also looking to farm, okay, you need to be very vested in understanding your market before picking the seed. It's a factor. Sometimes, for example, this season, the pepper that we are raising, we chose specifically very expensive varieties demanded in the market, because as I mentioned, it's not the main crop. The main crop is sunflower, but we don't want to hustle to be able to sell our produce, and then we don't want the produce to also be picked on a very cheap base. So we buy the varieties that the market women or our buyers are looking at actually getting. So because I am or my company is not really so much into pepper farming, and then we are actually doing a huge number this season, it means we would have to now get our customers to come on board to the pepper business, and it will be quite slow per our projection. Okay, even though we are going to have some of them who are rushing towards us, but it's going to be quite slow to get them all to come on board, and because of that, we will need the assistance of other markets, and for that purpose, we'll need to pick varieties that is easier and more expensive because it's not accessible in the market, and that is a variety we are growing. So the purpose of or the market you are targeting also determines the seed that you should pick. I know in Ghana there are people who prefer Roma tomato, the round, smooth skin, a little bit tough skinned, very juicy tomato, as against the beef stick, which is the plumpy, striped, a little bit oval in shape, which is mostly used for sandwich and all those ones. People prefer the Roma as against that. So if you're buying a seed, a variety, then you are looking at buying what the market would buy quicker. Now that does not discount the fact that if you go varieties that the market don't demand quicker, you would lose out. No, if you are having your market already, it works for you. Or if you're looking at fighting for a niche, it also works for you. But if you are looking at serving the market as it is, you look at what the market is also looking for, and that will help you. So yes, I think I've been able to touch in all the areas around the seeds. Sorry, there was an interruption. My workers would not allow me to finish my video. We had to go and then finish something and come back again. So if you are seeing coloration difference, that's the reason. Thank you for spending the day with me. I told you 2 videos. So right after this one, I'm doing a second one, which also talks about how to raise your seedlings, okay, your nurseries. So that will be the next one I'm talking about. So after this video, stay tuned. I'm sure you're going to be watching the next one right away. All right, so follow me on social media. If you have any questions, post on me there. I'm Veggie Father. I'm on X the most, as I always say. If you come to X, which is formerly known as Twitter, you would find me there. I'll reply your comments on YouTube. I'm on Facebook and Instagram. I'm also on Thread. You can find me on TikTok. I mean, everywhere. Where you are watching this, just put a comment there. I'll reply. If you have a specific question for me, please DM anywhere, any of those platforms. I'll be willing to assist you. And also, I want to say a very big thank you once again for hitting the 10,000, the 1,000. Did I say 10,000? For hitting the 100 subscription. Those 100 people are dear to me because I'm happy they want to embark on the journey that we will not be doing alone. So thank you very much and have a great day.